As a pool fan, this is just one of those moments. It's just special. And you have a bit of a history of with these two as well, don't you? You were there when they played in 2010. That was the last time they played 12 years ago. They did actually play twice that year, but during the World Final.
Yeah, I remember the World Final, and it was a very similar atmosphere to this. And it's been so long since pool's had this type of atmosphere. It does. I remember that evening. I think they played on it may have been a Wednesday evening at the time, but it was, the arena was packed and everybody was just like tonight, very excited, and the game was such a tight game, and there was different rules in world rules, so there was a few more sort of clever shots involved in it all. It was a brilliant night, and I hope tonight is as well.
Let's turn our attention to the table, and not the start that Mick Hill would have wanted. Straight into that. I mean, the cue ball jumped off the bed of the table and has found its way to that middle of that pocket, but exactly what Gaz would have hoped for when he lost the lag. Oh, that's certainly not what he would have hoped for, though. How's it gone in the middle of that pace?
Yeah, was he trying to get? I think he's trying to get the red in front of the yellow and the white down the table. It might take a couple of frames, maybe, just because of how. This feels a bit edgy, doesn't it, tonight? You know, you're expecting dish, but it might not be that for a few frames.
These two players would have you believe they'll play it down. But you can guarantee this means a lot to both of them. Yeah. They've been party to that conversation for years that I mentioned at the top of the show, the pool fans talking about who is the greatest, and it's a split decision. I've done a straw poll of about 15 people before we started, and it's just, some people are saying it's Gaz, some people are saying it's Mick. Nobody can really, there's nobody sort of landing firmly on one side.
And I think anyone who knows either of them, they've all sort of semi-had the conversation, haven't they? Or it's a little, I know it's football and it's a different situation, but the Messi Ronaldo type conversation, and all the players have it.
Federer and Nadal.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they sort of have it. And when you speak to Mick or Gareth, the one thing I would say, which Mick did point out, is they have massive respect for each other.
They do. Yeah.
I think that's they both want to beat each other. They both want to be classed as the best. The GOAT or whatever, but they do have massive respect for each other, which is great to see as well, isn't it? Because there is a rivalry, but it's a respectful one.
Yeah, 10 world titles between the two of them.
Not bad, is it?
That's something else, and would have probably been more if Gaz hadn't gone away from the game. So, after going off from the break, it is actually Mick who has the first opportunity. I did ask both players at the top of the show, did they have a game plan? Mick's game plan is, he said, I'm going to wing it as I always do. Not sure about that, Mick.
Yeah.
And Gaz was, pot as many balls as I can. Neither player giving anything away.
Yeah, well, I think because of the level this game's going to be at, they can't have much of a game plan, have they? I think he's perfect.
Yeah,
that's a great shot.
Just pulled up in time.
Yeah, I think because of the level the game's at, it's hard to have a game plan, isn't it? Because there's not really many ways that they're not going to think, I'm going to sit back and wait to see what the opponent does, because they know they've got to get as many frames on the board as quick as they can.
Yeah. Well, this is just slightly hampered. Should be okay. It's one of the ball you fancy him to get, but you never want to be queuing like this. Can cause a problem.
That's so he had it quite an area to land, and to land bang on top of that red, it's a bit of careless, but also a bit lucky, because on each either side you can cue the ball quite nicely. But he'll be glad to. I think Mick's the one that'll seem a bit more relaxed the way he sort of goes around the table and on the TV table.
So Mick Hill, you see his profile there, down as Dudley. He's cue. There's an 8.7mm tip, and actually that's a brand new tip on there. He had a new tip put on it last week. Dean Jones put a new tip on it for him, and the first time he used that tip was when he lagged against Neil Raybone on Friday. And there you see those 6 world titles, and just a string of titles to go along with it. He's been at the pinnacle of the game for so many years, and the thing is that those world titles were spread out over a long period as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
You know, they weren't just in a cluster. He's dominated for such a long time.
Yeah, and you think about the tournaments in between. I think I said before that, you know, like with Phil Harrison, the amount of the smaller tournaments that they still get a top level player in it. There's endless amounts of them that they would have won over the years.
Break, John.
Yeah, he's really got into that, hasn't he?
That's a fantastic break, timed to perfection.
I watched him last night against Darren Davis, and that was a hell of a finish to that match. Like, he pulled out massive clearance at the end. Gareth did, and I think most of the games were off the breaking clearances, and likewise watching Sean and Mick Hill this afternoon. They both played excellent. And Mick pulled out, Sean broke, and the balls weren't nice for him, and he's played a safety shot. Mick's pulled out a couple of lovely shots to clear it from there. Gareth will he'll want to try and get this first frame on the board quickly, especially after such a big break.
Yeah, Gareth was in trouble earlier against Christoph Lambert, wasn't he? I think he was behind and came back. I think he may have been 3-0 down, maybe 4-1 down, and ended up winning 7-4. So he's come through a very tough school today.
Is he going to take this ball down the line? I think he was trying to get it down the, come around more with the white ball there, cue ball to get down the line, so he's left himself a tough shot here. That looks good. No, that's wrong. Bottom shot that is. Middle shots that you always, sometimes you can tend that middle knuckle can look quite big on that shot.
Yeah.
When it's just a shot down the, it's really a shot down the rail, and if you know, it's just that extra couple of inches after the middle pocket, but it'd be amazing how many times you can just catch that. It's just went out a little slightly wide, but it just slid in off the far knuckle. And just watching the break back there was an absolute monster. Yeah, he's nice on a black in the same centre as Mick's Pride is.
Finish on his even after the first 2, and as much experience as either of these 2 players have, getting that first frame on the board, all important. You see Gaspop's profile, those 4 world titles won over a period spanning 9 years. The first one of those was back in 2005, and he's the Stanford Q's. In fact, the referee today, Cheshire Roberts, her partner is Lewis Roberts, who is the man behind Stanford Q's.
My 3-man team partner.
Yeah?
Well, he's one of my best friends as well, so it's just
that's a bonus.
Yeah, that's right. And the best cue makers. To me.
Michael Hill's break.
Yeah, as I say, the first world title back in 2005. And then won again in 7 and 8.
He's just dropped his chalk.
So, watch that cue ball go aerial again. It does, and so much so that it's off the table. And in this rule set, that's a bit of a disaster, because it means that Gareth gets ball in hand anywhere on the table. Yeah. So if there is a little problem here, so every break so far, the cue ball's gone aerial.
Yeah, quite heavily as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a long way off on the break for that ball when it's going aerial to bounce off the table like that. So it's all very well getting it in the air, but you've got to be so accurate hitting that top ball.
So what do we do here, John? He's looking at reds.
Yeah, he wants the red next to the yellow is the one he wants to do something with. He might play a breakout shot on it after potting the bottom red, because I don't think it goes in any pocket. So run through, leave himself a little angle. because he can play this next shot and leave himself on a possible red up the long rail if need be. Because I don't think it goes into this bottom right corners. No. He might just be trying to just nudge the red next to the yellow. A bit run inside. Yeah. I think he was a little bit high on that to get into that cue ball and to get the side into it.
Yeah.
He could have put the white ball in a position where he could have played that shot first off the other red, but then he would have been leaving the red on the bottom rail, which then he's also got to get back onto. So I think that's why he chose to pot the top red and play the developer shot second. And he knows that he's not left Mick an easy set of balls to go at as well. He might just knock the red in here. That's what he's tried to do. He's got it. He doesn't want to pot the yellow. It's a good shot.
Yeah, loss of turn.
I think these are the types of frames Mick likes. Them sorts of shots. He spots them so well. You know, so clever. I think that's, if anywhere Mick's got a slight advantage, I'd possibly say with them type of shots.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to say.
It's a strange thing to say because this is a native rule set for Gareth. I mean, he's been over in China, and these are very much the same as the Chinese 8-ball rules, and he's played extensively over there and dominated the game for periods. And but even having said that, Mick is an absolute master tactician, and you know that he would have spent hours looking at this rule set and understanding it. I mean, he's also, you know, played extensively in America and China, so he knows the rule set well as well. But you're absolutely right. He's a very clever, very thinker.
But Gareth just played an excellent shot straight back at him there. It's just left. Sometimes the best place is against their own ball, so they're sort of snookered by their own ball. Yeah. Just gives them so little option, especially having to hit a cushion after every shot.
You can tell that Mick just doesn't really know what to do here.
He might try to tie the red up. Yeah, he's kind of just trying to put it in the way because he knows he's going to leave Gareth a shot, but he's just trying to leave him the hardest shot possible. And he's played, you know, the red still probably goes to top right corner, but he'll be happy that he's got it in the way. It's not got a bad white. You know, Gareth's going to have to play a good shot, you know, to get the chance. Yeah.
Just playing percentages.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He's going to take the long one up the top right rail.
Shot.
Now he's just, this next shot's the important one to get himself in a good position. The first shot was just about the pot, getting yourself the next visit. If you can cut this back to the bottom right corner, you might be able to come back across. I think he's looking across the rail there, across the table to come back over. And even get on the red next to the yellow into the top right corner. I think that's what he's looking at. This is a brilliant shot if he gets us there. Well, he's a little bit short, but... And he's even maybe changing his mind on his next shot, but no, he's going to play it top right. That's an excellent shot he's just played there.
Yeah. And he's forced to play this top right, isn't he? Yeah. As you say, he could have done with another ball.
Yeah, but we'll be happy the yellow's there. The yellow was just going to help slow the white ball down.
Yeah.
Shot.
Hot after pot, isn't it?
Yeah, there's some good pots going in here. And he's got us. Does he try to find the window for the ball in the top left corner, or does he try to get closer to the ball? I don't know if he can screw around the yellow to the left and come around, but I just think he can't really get up to the top of the table, so it might just be a case of trying to find a window. So it looks like he's going to play with pace, so he is. I just don't think there was a way of getting up the table there.
Yeah.
I think he was probably trying to hit. If he hits the yellow full ball, he just caught. He might have stayed on it, but then it was hard to find a window. That was a difficult shot.
And the problem now, John, is even if he finds a way to pot this red, trying to get any sight of the 8 ball is near impossible.
Yep.
He's going to have to hit this.
If he gets this dead weight,
some real pace.
But I think if he just drops it in, he will be able to see the black. Have a long black. It's just gone a bit wide.
Yeah, he could just maybe get through to that line.
Yeah, there would have been a slight gap there, I think, but he's left Mick the ideal first shot, really. The only awkward yellow, he's on into quite a big pocket. You see how close he went to the knuckle there, so he didn't have a lot of room. So I don't think he possibly could have got the angle to pot that.
Suddenly, there's nothing in the way between Mick Hill and 2-1.
No, that's right.
Okay, he still has to get these. And we always remember, these guys aren't robots. Things can go wrong, but this is about as simple as it gets.
Yeah, there's no when you've got the balls like this, you can try and call what shot they're going to play, but it's you can just make yourself look silly, can't you?
Yeah.
They've got their own mind what ball they'd like to get on the black with, and to be fair, you could get on the 4 balls left. Any one of them's good to get on the black, so they'll work their way around the table how they like. I think by the judge of that shot, Mick likes that red, yellow to right centre for it to get on the black.
Finished a tad straight.
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, if he finished, he's not taking any time, so he's going to scoot straight back. But, as I say, just a touch straighter than he wanted. More than one way to skin a cat.
Mm. The one thing I was thinking earlier about this match is I just wish it was a longer race.
Yeah.
You know, I wish it was like first to 15 or so.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not a money match scenario, but it's kind of got that feel like such a big match. You know, when people have money matches, they're quite built up, aren't they, for a big game? And I think we're being robbed of the first. Is it first to 7?
It is, yeah, race to 7. And the man from the Midlands, who wins the 3rd frame, leads now by 2 frames to 1. We look back at Gareth pots the 10th.
I don't think you could have got much more out of that unless you played it harder with some side on the ball, maybe a bit bottom just to try and check it up a little bit. But then you're taking a bit more of a gamble with where the white ball's going.
Yeah.
I think that's possibly a genuine attempt to try and snooker Mick, to be honest. This is the most people I've seen at the pool match for a little while, I've got to say.
Yeah, there's people vying for a look at the table, taking all kinds of vantage points, every seat taken. You can see the seats at the back of the arena, but the ones to the side, several rows of them.
There's people standing behind them.
Yeah.
Just hit that well. Kept the white line.
Ooh. Well,
you can hear the crack on that one, couldn't you?
Yeah. Definitely deserved the ball, but it was one of the last balls moving.
Yeah.
Found its way to that middle pocket. This is another super break, though. I mean, he just times him so well. I don't know if anyone noticed, but the previous break to that, Mick Hill actually tapped his knee in appreciation of how good the break was, and I don't think I've ever seen that before.
No.
I mentioned just before, John. Sorry, I just mentioned before that the players probably just play down what this means to them. But I just remembered the reaction that Mick Hill gave when he beat Sean Story in the semi-final, and a great big fist pump and a huge yes. And do you know what? I haven't seen that for years.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that kind of hunger and passion from him for such a long time, and isn't it refreshing to see it?
Yeah,
he wants
definitely.
this so much.
Yeah.
He wants to be back at the top. I love it. It's great to see.
I actually think he does want it more than he's letting on, personally, and I mean, that game with Sean was a very good game. You know, I watched the end of it, and Sean played really well as well. Sean took out some really good finishes towards the end, and you kind of felt like because I think Mick was 6-4 up, and Sean had took out 2 really good finishes, and you felt like the momentum had gone slightly short.
Yeah.
And he just got not a great break, and Mick played a lovely shot into the middle pocket and done a very nice clearance. But Mick seemed really relaxed on that situation, and at the end he just definitely let out a bit of steam, or just had a few of his mates there, so it was like doing the fist pump for them, probably maybe more than his emotion, but
maybe so. Yeah.
but he enjoyed doing it, definitely.
In the meantime, Gaz has, well, after that incredible break, carved out this super opportunity to level things up, and just needs to cue this back 12 inches.
That must have been tight. He got down like he went easily, but I was thinking it, obviously from the camera angle, it could have been quite tight, but because he was so confident in the way he went down, I thought it must have gone quite easy. And maybe he was just trying to pull the white out a fraction as well. He's coming back past the red. He's probably trying to get the white away from the cushion slightly. So,
I thought for the world that was...
Yeah, he's just caught it, hasn't he? Yeah. Now these little situations could become big situations by the end of the match.
Yeah.
We are talking a match that there's nothing in it, and these little little niggly bits that can go wrong could make a big difference. Yeah,
could be all the difference. I mean, this could be, that one shot easily be the difference between 2 each and 3-1.
Yeah, and Mick will be really wanting to clear these up now because he knows Gaz will be a bit annoyed at himself and.
Well, that's exactly the thing. He can't let him off. He knows in his mind he cannot let Gaz off. He wants him to sit and stew in his chair because he'll be sitting and stewing in his chair for the next few minutes. And if he misses a ball, he's back at the table and he's forgotten all about that miss.
Yeah,
and Mick will be acutely aware of that.
Yeah. You say about Mick fist pumping in the last in this semi-final. It'll be interesting to see the reaction of the players. Whoever wins at the end of this, won't it?
Definitely will. Yeah.
Especially if it does go hill, which I think everybody kind of wants, don't they? Unless they are fully one-sided to one player.
Is there any irony whatsoever in the fact that both of their names are related to Paul? One of them's Potts.
Hill. Yeah. I'd rather have Potts than Hill, wouldn't you? I think
they were destined to be the two of the goats, weren't they?
Well, that means
destined.
Does that mean that Mick's only ever just wins and then Gareth just out Potts everybody? I don't know. But it's quite ironic really that they have. I should have been a fisherman. That red next to the yellow, I'm not sure which. I think it might have gone to bottom right. No, top right, sorry, in the camera now. And I think he's just overscrewed it, hasn't he?
Do you think it goes to top right? Maybe it does. I thought it was always
from the overhead it looked like it might squeeze through the two yellows. The yellow was closest to and the yellow nearer the pocket, but the way he played that made me think that he was maybe trying to play that.
Is he forced to double it now?
I don't know where it does. He's playing it, so he's cutting it back into that top corner. Yeah, the line he was just looking at is where he wants white to come, so white's going to come near the middle bag, I think. Yeah, there you go. That's a good shot.
And that's just such a great lesson for...
That's taking your medicine.
For any club player, just give yourself a chance. Don't try and get perfect. Just give yourself a chance. I think that's a fabulous lesson.
Yeah, and say the line of the pot isn't the hardest part of this, so he's left the white where he knows he can pot it. There's quite a big area he could pot this shot. He's played that really nicely.
Beautiful, so well controlled.
Slow shot with run inside is can be a tough one to judge on this cloth.
And it's sorry, I was saying 2 frames apiece, 3 frames to 1, should I say? My apologies.
Something in the back of your mind that you want to tell us?
I was just thinking, John, that we touched on the subject earlier on in the show, but we cast our minds back to that 2010 World Final that was contested between these two players.
Yep.
It was Mick that day that came through that one, 11 frames to 8.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I say they did play again that year in a pro event, which Gaz incidentally won 10 frames to 7. So Gaz has currently got bragging rights. Yeah. Even though Mick won that world title, Gaz has got bragging rights. So do you think Mick's been harbouring that one for the last 12 years?
I don't know that. I remember that world final and they both wanted to win out.
Didn't they ever?
Gareth afterwards, he was gutted. I won it.
Yeah.
I remember speaking to Masters, he was gutted, and Mick was definitely a very happy man that night.
And you see Mick put his hand up to apologise to Gaz, and the reason for that is because he knows he didn't flush his pack. Look at the cue ball tracking towards that pocket.
I mean, I'm not sure he should be putting his hand up for that.
No.
He hasn't. Yeah.
He hasn't got lucky.
Yeah,
he hasn't threatened the in-off. That's the point.
I'm not really a great believer in the old hand up on the break sort of thing. I said before with Simon, there's looking for so many balls going. They're going everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, on a small area, so many things can happen. You could be apologising for 5 or 6 things that happen on the break, couldn't you?
But what an opportunity here, John.
Yep.
I mean, this should be 4 frames to 1, but he has to navigate these 6 balls, and there will be some pressure on him. I mean, he knows it's a different kind of pressure when you're the front runner. He will want to keep that lead. He won't want to give Gareth Potts a sniff.
Yeah, because he knows that Gareth, if he makes a mistake, Gareth has 2 breaks to his 1. Within that mistake, it could be a 3-4 frame turnaround quite quickly. If Mick gets a dry break, it can turn around so quickly. And like we said, the last frame, that little mistake Gareth made is costing him 2 frames now. He's going to come back to table 2 frames down when he should have been level.
So remembering all the time he's got the plant to top left in his back pocket.
Yes, as soon as he gets this red to the bottom left out of the way, he'll be happy because he'll have a lot of margin for error on his shots. So
are you surprised he's not taking that now?
A little bit, but he might just be the plants. He might be leaving it till last, I think, now.
Yeah. I mean, it's simple enough.
Yeah, that's
using this pattern, I guess it's simple enough to get back on because he just needs to leave the right angle.
Like he could have played the red down the left rail, then come back to where he was, and he would have been playing these shots now to get onto the black. So
a bit too much angle here, though.
Yeah, so that's what I think. Maybe playing that red down the left rail, would have been the shot, because this would have been the shot to get on the black, which would have been perfect.
And you could see just by the way he was chalking his cue, that's a little sign of displeasure, because he wasn't exactly. He's the absolute consummate perfectionist.
Yeah.
If he's not on the sixpence that he was aiming for, then he will be annoyed.
And also, he knew that shot he had to really dig into the white ball.
Yeah.
So he was definitely making sure he got enough chalk on his cue to get that white to grip as quick as he could.
This is from Mick and Gareth Potts. He can't do a lot about it at the moment.
No, he's just going to sit there and wait for his next shot, which he's got the break now, hasn't he?
Wait for an opportunity.
Yeah. It's just a shame. It's just a short race.
Yeah, it really is.
But they'll play again, I'm sure. And it's just fitting that the first time they meet is in the final, isn't it? It's, they could have. With the Pro Series, there's a few times they could have met at different rounds.
It's an organiser's dream.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Organiser's dream.
Yeah. I mean, we're lucky enough to be here, and there's a lot of people hopefully watching, and with the subscription, I think there'd be a lot of people wanting to pay to watch this anyway,
Yeah, for sure.
We could have probably charged people to come in tonight, and they still would have paid it, so we're lucky to be here, and lucky to have such a good match to watch.
Yeah, it's simply magic. It really is. These moments don't come along too often. I've been commentating on the game for probably 7 years now, and I've done some incredible matches, but you still just excited like a school child on on the last day of term when you see a game like this become a draw.
Yeah, this is what hopefully we're building to. That each series is like this.
Yeah.
This is, it's it feels like the biggest final we've had so far. But this is what we want each series final to be like. And some of the players, obviously, these Gareth and Mick, they're not as young as they used to be, so to speak. And so there'll be the younger players coming through, creating their own history. And hopefully, this is just the start of what these finals nights can be like.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, if kids at home can't watch this and be inspired, then
that's right. And they're both good professionals as well. As the way they conduct themselves, the freshness about the game, the way they've learned, trained, practiced.
Yeah.
You know, there's no possibly Gareth's probably the biggest practicer you'll ever see at any sport. You know, his dedication is unbelievable, and it's, you know, unrivaled in any sport by any player.
I was discussing it with somebody earlier, and I just said that, you know, is there anyone who is more professional than Gareth in the game? I mean, he's in his dedication to the game, the amount he practices, the time he puts in, the way he conditions himself, the way he prepares for a game. I mean, you know, I shouldn't say it, but I mean, before the game I was speaking to Mick, and he said, I haven't taken my cue up my case for 2 weeks, and he said it just shows you how overrated practice is. But I mean, but he knows, you know.
But Mick's had his years of putting that effort in.
Of course.
But what are you saying about Gareth there? About, is there any player that I think any sport, there's probably not any sportsman that puts as much as Gareth does into it. You know, I can't imagine, I know the effort he puts into this game and the dedication he has for it, and at any sport I don't think you could say anybody at any sport puts more into it than what he does.
Let's say his success isn't a fluke, is it?
It's deserved.
Yeah, it's manufactured and it's designed by hard work, and he is an absolute advert for hard work and dedication. You can't believe.
Yeah, if he was just trying to hold the white ball slightly on that shot.
Yeah.
Didn't want it to drift away.
Maybe just. It looked like it was going towards the pocket, but maybe
pulling
just
on the
finger mark. It's the trouble with this cloth. It's a kind of almost like a sharp stubble, and when you look at the table closely, you see finger marks all over it. And it only takes one of those finger marks, the ball, to catch it. It can just turn it just enough to take it away from the pocket.
That's right, and that's going across. He's going to cross against the nap, slightly across the nap, so it doesn't take a lot just to veer that ball off track.
Look at the look on Mick's face. He's bemused.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another chance that's got away from Mick there, I think, to punish Gareth.
It's great watching Mick's face because he just tells the story, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if he had to play that shot, but it's kind of let Gareth off a fraction there.
Yeah, 5-1 was, you know, you think
with Mick to break.
Most of the hard work's done.
Yeah.
But at 4-2.
Wow. He's just pushed that into the cushion slightly.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had a slightly thick contact on that, possibly.
Unusual misses, uncharacteristic.
Yeah. He potted a similar ball in the first frame, didn't he, down the line?
Yeah.
There was the tougher shot than that.
Yeah. I mean, let's not make any bones about it. That was a tough shot.
Yeah, it was a very tough shot.
It was a tough shot.
Yeah.
But such is the level that these guys play at. He almost
he's expecting to pot it, isn't he? Yeah, he's expecting to pot it, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And maybe the side he's put on because he's played it quite firm. The sides just pushed the white ball out before the white ball's had a chance to come back in with the side, which can sometimes happen when you're playing a shot when the balls aren't too far away from each other. It'd be interesting if Mick goes for these. I mean, he could play this. I'd be tempted off this red to try and get on the red near the yellow, because he could use the yellow as a bit of an aimer. No. Right.
Does he?
He's going to flick. I think he's going to flick off it. Yeah, flick off it. Put the red in front of the line between the white and the yellow.
He needs to judge it well, though.
Yeah.
It's all about the pace.
Yeah, he's left the side of the yellow, but it's not an easy shot.
No, what has he left? There's no double.
No, he can't play it off the red. I don't know if Gareth may elect to try and think about a safe cue ball here. Because, like you said, you sort of took through the options that you could play, double, part off the red possibly, but then you sort of maybe think, what other shot is there?
Yeah, maybe just trying to get the cue ball in behind the red at the bottom of the table. Wow.
Mick
even
applauding his effort.
The table just to.
Yeah, I don't really get what that's about because he didn't put it. Personally,
I know, but it was a great effort.
Yeah, it was a great effort. If we're applauding efforts now, you know, it's like, I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure if that. I don't know. I wouldn't like to say.
The thing is, I know that the Americans can. They've often got a thing where they touch the table just to say unlucky or something like that. So it may just be that.
Yeah, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Just a bit of respect. Just a bit of respect.
Yeah.
Mick is ever respectful about his opponents.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree. Well, this is one that got away for Gareth, isn't it?
It is.
He needed it as well. Kicked and put real pressure on Mick. Because Mick's now going to have a complex advantage on Gareth, so no matter what Gareth does, Mick's always going to have that. He knows he can break the match out here, even if Gareth plays perfect.
It's a little bit of one-way traffic. That was a great effort. It really was.
I mean, I don't know if he would have a shot on the black next.
No. Indeed.
I mean, even if he played safe there, I think he possibly would have been in trouble the next shot after that. So sometimes you think, have a go, you know.
I've just noticed as well that they've got their banners behind them. I just noticed that. I just noticed that Mick Hill's head is on Mick Hill's shoulder, basically. It's right next to his
head's next to his head, kind of thing. Yeah, it's very.
And equally, Gaz's banner is in his corner. That's brilliant.
Yeah,
you can see there, just next to the TV.
It's peeking through to have a watch the game.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, there's banners of all the players up around the arena. Really smart banners, and they look nice. Nice setting for the players.
This is, I mean, it's just such a wonderful setup. I mean, just for the guys at home, I know you're just looking at one table in the arena, but there's actually 3 of these arenas side by side. This is the main table, but there's identical arenas to the left and right of it in a huge room in the Hilton Metropole at the NEC in Birmingham. That's where we bring you this action from.
I was speaking earlier actually, and to one of the organisers, and I said the setup's so good that I actually felt like we was at the first series. You know, when I walk into the room now, it felt like when we was at Blackpool. It feels the same sort of feeling when you walk in.
Yeah, there's now a consistency.
The setup's nice.
You can put this setup anywhere.
Yeah, and, exactly.
The thing, I guess, the argument before was that you play a lot of your games in one room on a Supreme table, then you come to the arena and play differently. But every game now is played in an identical arena on an identical table. All the pros have a level playing field. Yeah. And it looks fantastic. Yeah,
it is brilliant, and it's just risen the level of professionalism, you know, about the whole setup.
Amazing.
You know, everything from, you know, the people around the arena, the referees, how the referees conduct the arena.
Yeah.
You know, they're absolutely flawless.
If you can't enjoy this kind of pool, then this game's not for you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
This really is where pool, the direction it needed to be going in, and it's a sleeping giant. And games like this just put it up on the pedestal.
Yeah. I think in a way there might be too much respect in this game as well, you know, that so many people who are new watching pool won't really understand what this game's about. And they probably like some of the maybe faster players running around, clearing up, smashing balls in, and because of maybe to watch, but so this game is for the pool players, so to speak, isn't it? That have known these players for years.
Yeah, for pool fans and pool purists, as I say, there's a conversation that's been going on around the globe for many years about who is the greatest player. The same conversation happens in tennis, it happens in snooker between Hendry and Roy, and everyone has their own opinions. And normally the two people in the mix are Gareth Potts and Mick Hill.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I don't want to say like they're the only two great. There's a lot of there is some other great players. You know,
it doesn't stop there. There's a whole list of names under that. You know,
you know, you've got Darren Appletons and Chris Mellins. You know, and even you know, so you put the Mark Selby's in that bracket. You know, obviously he went off to snooker, but you know, if he'd carried on playing pool, he'd be up there in there as well. You know, for the players that have played the game. So these are, you know, possibly two of the greatest, but there's a lot of great players that have played the game.
So, I mean, it goes back saying that this is a must-win frame for Gareth Potts.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time for the for him to catch up, so he won't be too concerned about the time, but he'll be concerned about the score.
And the problem is now he needs the opportunities. He needs the table time, and will Mick give it to him?
He needs that black as well, and I'm not sure where it's going at this moment.
I think the plan's always been to...
Does it sneak past the yellow?
No, I don't think it does. No, it doesn't.
No,
you can see from that angle.
No.
It's a double. I don't think he can do anything else, but...
Does that double? Does the yellow block double?
No, I think...
Double in the middle?
I think it doubles to middle.
He's got to get below. He needs to get below the bulk line. He's going to screw behind there. Double into the corner.
It must double the corner.
Is he going to? Could he play cushion yellow into the corner?
I was wondering that. I just wondered.
The yellow's a little bit far off. But
well, that yellow does look like it's in the way of the double.
If you hit it hard, well, we'll see now. It's very close. It might just miss it. Oh. Well, the yellow wasn't in a way. He's hit the bottom jaw, so he could have got it. He hit it hard, trying to square it up.
Such a fine margin, isn't it? I mean, there's a couple of times now where it's just a rattled ball that's cost him his place at the table. And
the one thing I would say, you don't often see Gareth going for a clearance, leaving himself a double on a black.
No,
I can't even recall ever seeing that.
No.
You know, maybe a double to the middle that's a bit more of a certain double to get.
I just don't know if he ever had.
He knows he had to play
a ball that he could get that out. I think he was just like, I can't do anything but take my medicine.
He did cannon it earlier, and he's possibly a bit unlucky how it came out, wasn't he? The white double kissed off it, and it could have come a little bit nicer from them. But I think from there it made his decision that he had to double it. And he got on it well, and I think
that's lovely.
Yeah, this is going to hurt if this scoreline goes to 1. I think.
Yeah, if
it just makes you look forward to the next game more, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. But sometimes you just got to take your hats off and say, do you know what, it wasn't my day, because Gaz hasn't done an awful lot wrong. He's okay. He's missed a couple of balls. He's had a couple of messy layouts, but not done a whole pile wrong. But Mick Hill is. He's on a mission.
At this level, I could honestly say this weekend there's probably been 20, 30 games like this, played by the pros, or even in the Challenger Series, where there's not many mistakes are being made by the players, and they're losing matches, and some lost more company than others, but it's, it just shows the level that the players are playing at. On the hill.
On the hill.
I tried to beat you to that then, sorry.
6 frames to 1. So there we look back at that. It's such a fine margin. I mean, it's just millimetres.
If anything there, I think you probably need to be a little bit more in line with the middle pocket, because the double from the middle pocket line, it's very close to set on to the bulk line. You just got to punch it to square it up slightly. So you may want to be a little bit more in line with the middle pocket to the black ball there. And that's why he has hit it quite hard to square it up. As I say, he's just hit the bottom knuckle, so it did. The yellow wasn't in the way for the double, so I think everyone's joined us in here now, haven't they? We'll get the hotel manager in here soon.
There's a lot of people in here.
There's one person missing, and I hope he's listening. JMO is out there, because he would be loved to be here right now, wouldn't he?
He would, yeah, for sure.
I'm kind of glad he isn't, because I wouldn't be here if he was. But I know he would have been loved to have been here.
As we mentioned, Mick Hill on the hill, Gareth Potts, he needs some pots.
Oh, what? Oh, get me out of here. So putting out the dad jokes now.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Oh, that's a dry one. And this could be it. No, it's first to 8, sorry. First to 8. So I do get an extra frame out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit of a frustrating break. A ball went near the middle, but apart from that, nothing really attacked a pocket. And he got such a good split, so it will be, it's disappointing when...
He's not on the hill.
No, he's not. It's to 8. That's what I just said.
Saying he's on the hill.
You just couldn't wait to say it. That's the trouble, could you?
I messed up there.
Yeah. Well,
John.
Yeah, you've been lining that up for so long. You waited. Yeah, you can't. The one thing I will say, you can't repeat it now. Okay, you can't. It's done.
I've got to think of something else now.
Yeah, we're gone on that one. You can't use it again. I'm sorry. To think of another one of your phrases. Think of a new one. I don't think you've got very long to think about it, neither.
No, I don't think I have.
And Mick's, you've got to say something about Mick this year. Since we've moved to the hotels, I don't know if he's found a comfort zone, you know, maybe because
remember this is his environment.
Yeah, this is what he's played years and years.
His world titles were all won in hotels.
Yeah,
pretty much exclusively all won in hotels. Most of them in Blackpool.
Yeah, tours. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is his environment, and he loves nothing more than performing in front of a crowd, and there's a crowd in here.
Yeah, I mean, that's not to say anything sort of that was wrong with where we were playing before we moved to the hotels.
No.
That you can't knock that setup at all.
No.
But it's just maybe something about the routine he has, and because obviously we had to stay in separate hotels to where we played. Maybe just something about that you know, it wasn't quite as comfortable, and now, you know, he really looks like he's enjoying it, doesn't he? And I think, I don't want to say he feels like he's won, but you could just something about him, isn't there, as he's clearing up now.
Yeah, I think, Gaz, being the professional he is, will never write a match off, but I think in both players' minds, this one's pretty much there and thereabouts.
That's right.
That scoreline would hurt.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt.
It won't give him sleepless nights, but I think, well,
he's gonna be dying to play Mick again.
Yeah.
Absolutely dying to play Mick again.
Yeah. So he definitely want to get a bit more respectability to the scoreline.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he's got nothing to prove, has he? I mean, let's be honest. There's some players that if it was a challenger match with a couple of players that we don't often see on stream, we might be saying that, you know, this guy, he wants to show us what he's about. We know what Gaz Potts is.
Oh, everybody knows, yeah.
Yeah. So.
And if you just watch the semi-finals, you know, both made great semi-finals with Gareth. You know, you know what they're about. And
he owes no explanation.
This isn't surprising that one, you know, because so little mistakes that one could take the game away.
At the start of this game, anything could have happened. It could be a reverse of this scoreline. It could be hill. I mean, you know, anything was possible.
Well, Mick's got one frame to win the title.
One frame.
Doesn't sound as good, obviously, but you've ruined that for us, Mick, so we have to go with that.
John, he's on the brink.
Oh, the brink, nice one. I like it. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Take my hat off to you, then, Nick. Thinking on your feet. That's good.
So, what's he got?
There's a chance to win.
What has he got?
I would say it is, just because he's at the table as much as anything, the way he's played.
So,
but I think all them yellows look good.
It would definitely be yellows. Well, it will definitely be yellows. I just wonder, the yellow on the left-hand side, does that pass?
Into the middle?
Into the left middle?
Yeah, I think it does, doesn't it? I think if it didn't, he'd be looking at reds.
Yeah, exactly right, yeah.
But he wants to land straight on this yellow to the left corner, which he is. So he might just drop this in.
You can see from that angle that...
In the yellow under the black, he'll use that, cut that in to kick the other yellow out slightly to be on the yellow down the rail. I think he's got the pattern there. He's just needs to go through the motions, really. So the yellow to the right of the black, you want to kick that out slightly, so then that can possibly be his last ball, second from last ball. So he can go from the ball over the left centre to that ball.
Needs a fairly full ball contact.
Yeah, that's it. He wants to get over the middle. That's right. Yeah. So when he puts this ball down the road, he can just drop the two last balls in, black in the bottom corner, and that's it.
Good Are you game. Calling it, John?
No,
is it there?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? You can't.
doesn't
he just changed. Yeah, he just changed the way he took the balls. I don't think he liked the angle he had on the ball down the rail.
It's been a bit of a clinic.
Yeah, it has been excellent, hasn't it?
It's the epitome of a masterclass.
It was just them frame there was that frame where Gareth played the ball to the top left corners, just flicked the red, I think, on the rail, didn't he? And that from then, Mick just took over the match.
Yeah. And we get to see the reaction. I don't think it'll be an exuberant reaction just because of the scoreline. If it's closer, there would be more adrenaline pumping through him. But he will be over the moon with this scoreline. He'll be over the moon with this result. Party, but so just in conclusion, John, that was a fabulous performance. You can't say anything more than that, can you?
He deserved that thoroughly, didn't he? And I think there's just a couple of mistakes from Gareth. Mick's just punished him, didn't he?
Yeah.
He made sure he punished him. There was a little scrappy frame in there as well, and Mick got the better of that frame.
Indeed.
And he went on to win. And from then he never looked like losing, did he? He got his chances, he took them. And like I say, Gareth will just be hoping for another matchup.
Yeah.
Maybe a few more.
Indeed. And for now, it's Michael Hill that will lift the trophy. We see the presentation party. We are heading over to Simon Webb in the arena.
What a brilliant end to a great competition. Let's have a round of applause for both of these legends. He's an absolute superstar of the game, coming up just short this time, Gareth Potts. Hard luck, Gaz. Just a game that you couldn't really get into at the end.
Yeah, I felt like every time I come to the table, I felt like there was something to do, and every time I played a can, it went a little bit awkward, and then obviously I missed a couple of balls, but yeah, I mean, it's weird because I actually felt good and I felt like I was going to play well. I just didn't. But yeah, obviously, look, congratulations to Mick. He was pretty faultless, really. He fed off a couple of mistakes I made early on, and then obviously put me under pressure. And then every time I had to go for a finish, I felt like I had a shot to play, or the cannon went wrong a little bit. But obviously, the night belongs to Mick, and congratulations to him.
You said when you returned to the sport, this is the reason you returned, for nights like this. So it didn't go your way tonight, but you must be really proud to be involved in something like this.
Yeah, no, that's why I came back, because I knew what Ultimate Pool's vision was, and I knew what they wanted to do, and this was the reason that I came back to play, because I knew that there would be occasions like this when, nights like this are what we first pick a queue up for. So that's the reason. That's the reason I came back, and obviously wasn't meant to be tonight. But it's just been a fantastic tournament, it's like I say, congratulations, Mick.
Well, congratulations on a great tournament.
Thank you.
And our champion in this event is Mick Hill. Come up, Mick. Let's have a word. Congratulations, Mick. That was a fantastic performance and a great end to a brilliant weekend there.
Yeah, it's just a lot of people at home and the crowd, they don't realise quite how nerve-wracking it is, because you're playing against a robot who barely misses anything, and you're thinking it's just you never ever settle. You're just on the edge of your chair all the time, because you just, to be fair, I thought Gaz was pretty fair in his reflection. I think I got off to a decent start, and I thought my match play was good, in terms of there was a couple of times where I could have fell into the trap of having a lead, but I kind of sort of pulled the reins in and said, no, I'm not going to have a go, and almost like, if you have a go and get them, then fair play to you, kind of thing. And there was a couple of times where he's nearly knocked him in from nowhere, and as you said, a couple of cannons went a bit awkward, or there was a ball here and there, but I felt like my match play was good in that respect. and I kind of I was nervous. It's the most nervous I've been probably 12 years since last time we played. To be honest, I was really nervous. I said to a couple of lads, I said, I don't really get nervous these days because I don't, you know, not to be rude, but it is what it is, isn't it? But no, I was actually nervous tonight. When I was in the room getting ready, I was nervous, and I thought, oh, please don't start chopping up, you know what I mean? Come on, don't start that, like, you know. But no, I played well, and I felt confident. I wanted to stay aggressive but controlled. I think both of us pride ourselves on our kind of what we call pure play. You know, we're not like really cannoning balls or fizzing the cue ball around if we don't know what's going on. So played a couple of nice, what we've referred to as the turnover shot in the commentary box. You know, the loss of turn shot, and asked the question a little bit there. You know, and yeah, I got to be, you know, like for the fans and everybody at home and everybody on social media getting giddy and everything. It really isn't like that. We got so much respect for each other. You know, we're fine. We get on fine and everything else. And I'm sure, you know, there'll be a few having the field day after a few drinks tonight and whatever. But I don't sort of, you know, urge that on. Do you know what I mean? It's like we've got a lot of respect for each other. And we may play many more times now. We're back playing against each other. It's been a long time, and probably next time we play it could be the same result, you know. So yeah, but congratulations on Gaz's tournament, everybody involved. It's been awesome, really, you know. The ultimate pool, you know, the hotel's been awesome, everything's been awesome, and good luck to everybody that's playing. And yeah, thanks a lot.
You say that we've seen a few finals with you here with Ultimate Pool. You've now won a couple of titles, but it was extra special having Gaz against you in the final. A lot of people felt it, and I guess that's where the extra nerves tonight came from. Yeah,
I mean, I guess so. I mean, the last final I played was special. I've known Neil since he's been 12 years of age. You know, took him under my wing. We're travelling around, and you know, I know his family and everything, and so that was special as well. You know what I mean? It's in these days now. You know, I'm 42, so you know, you kind of don't know how many finals you're going to play, and you know, sometimes I feel like I'm dedicated, other times I feel like I'm being lazy, but it's the likes, you know, I've said this all along, and to all the, you know, all the new guys as well that have started, you know, Shane keeps pumping me, it's about time I beat him, you know, and you know, there's one or two, but it is nights like this where you think it's kind of nice because there's a bit of nostalgia and you've grown up together, and we've probably played, you know, 20 or 30 finals, you know what I mean? So it is nice when you play Gaz or, you know, or Chris or Phil, because that's kind of my generation, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I've gone on long enough, and so cheers.
I guess it's time to give you the trophy. Let's bring in Lee Grout, the tournament director, to hand you the trophy. Your champion, Mick Hill.